Aloha, everyone out there. This is Dennis James Lee, and this is actually our very first podcast show. I'd like to welcome you to this show that is really about our lives as human beings on this planet, and in a general sense, obviously. But it's also about our experience, our wisdom, and we're hoping that hopefully you out there in the audience can learn about who you are in the reality of this world and who we are and how we work together to do good in this world. So I'm actually from a family of entertainers, and we've been working in the entertainment business for many years. We actually also have many people within our group that are still working in film business and also in music. So a lot of the subjects of this podcast will be about that, but mostly about very interesting people. So I'd like to start off with the first interesting person in this podcast, which is actually my mother. She just came out with a new book called A Girl from Busan. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about it. But I'd like to just welcome you guys, and let's go on with the show and let's enjoy this day. So this is my mother, Okhui Lee.
Oh, what a way to promote my book. Anyway, my name is Okhui Lee. I'm Korean, and I was born in Japan. Then locally also known as Tomiko, because sometimes I use a Japanese name because a lot of Japanese population in Hawaii. As I had a business like a hostess bar, whatever called Korean bars. But by the way, go back to my original story. It's A Girl from Busan. This is a book. I just recently published this book, and it's a story about my journey. I was, I'm Korean, came from Korea as an immigrant and single mothers. I had to support my 3 children and my families, and being single mother is very, very hard. And today I would like to share about this is also subtitle is a power of prayer. So how my life changed through this prayer my mother taught me when I grew up in Korea, and that's all what it is. Right now, I can introduce myself as it is.
So, Mom, since you're basically our first guest, I'd like to actually just kind of have a breakdown of why did you write this book?
Because I feel like I'm getting old. Sometimes, just like I want to leave my legacy to my children and grandchildren, and also. That's what, plenty old people thought this is, something I can hand to their generation, next generation, and, find out who I was, who I am, and who I will be. And this is a message sort of, for being a grandparent and to the, to the other, kids like grandsons. And so anyway, then also I had a colorful life, and so I want to share with something, that not many people went through. I was a blessed dancer in Hollywood. Then also I met many celebrities at the time. Then also as been Korean bar mama in Honolulu, Hawaii, that I met a lot of different characters like underworld like Yakuza and Hawaiian syndicates and all those kind of colorful people went through my life, through my establishment. So something historic, bygone era, a young generation should know. Then also most important is I want to really focus on prayer become center of my life and my children's life, and it's very important. It's always close God is really solved many, challenging throughout our lives. So I want to share something,
Yeah.
how important it is.
Yeah. So I think also too is that the question I wanted to ask too is I know this book was basically a legacy book.
Mm.
Then it became more uh, about prayer
Mm-hmm.
and those who are suffering and families suffer from drug addiction and
Yeah.
alcohol addiction. How did prayer help you and help the family and help me especially?
No, this is just, you gotta really focus on what is the center of importance of life. And a lot of young people nowadays, they want to be famous and they want to make a lot of money. So that that's going to wrong road. And before that, we gotta know family value. What is a principle? What is important, life of your, which one you want to take a direction. So always is a really, really good inspirational message from the God, and keep a center and solid foundation. It will be grows abundantly. Your life is more blessed by those, prayers by God. Am I talking okay?
Yeah, yeah. So you actually gave a very good overview on what's in the book. From burlesque dancer to a hostess bar owner to helping your son and your family. But overview. So let's get maybe a little bit more specific. Tell us about your childhood in Korea, and it's in the book obviously, but we'd like to know a little bit more about how you grew up in the 1940s and 50s and 60s.
Yeah, actually, I was born in Japan, and our family moved to Korea, but we are Korean. And, those days, right after World War II, then you're going to know my age right now. So, World War II, and Korea was a chaos. And, we grew up to be under poverty, which is there's no food, and sometimes our family goes without the food for 3 days. And my father is a very excuse me, my father is a very nice man, but is a kind of my mother always called my father is how wimpy guys. So I grew up to be very, my parents are non-educated, even came from, loyal family, but they
The
were
Royal Yangbang, right?
Yangbang.
What does
Yangbang.
Yangbang mean?
Yangbang means elite, like high level of society. And but my mother's side, the parents has been opium addict, like drug addict and heroines. So all the wealth trickle down, and they from my mother had never had an education, grew up to be those parents. So everything is a trickle down. So our generation is my generation become very sufferers. So we went to Korean. After that, we got through Korean War. Then I had met my husband was military. So I was tutoring English at the time. So my husband was, just help me out, get out of poverty from Korea. So
But you skipped the whole section.
what section?
Well, anyways, the thing about let's go back to Yangbang. I remember as a kid, somebody used to tell me a story about how our ancestors were like governor of a province.
Yeah.
And then they actually did some sort of a contest where they had to shoot an arrow to a watermelon or melon or something, and then riding on a horse. And they had to gallop and shoot at a watermelon or something.
I don't know. My mother told me so many stories, but I don't know what to believe. And, she come out the very weird and sometimes funny stories. But,
Tall tales, maybe tall
yeah.
tales.
So
Yeah, so I actually one of the things that another thing that fascinated me about the book, and you don't have to go too much into it. And it's not fascinating; it's kind of tragic how grandma had to, you know, maybe you'll read the book out there, but how grandma had to administer heroin or opium to her
Yeah,
parents.
she used to just to give a shot and took parents to heroin. But all the description in the book, and also then my sister, elder sister, become heroin addict, and finally she suicide. And now come to my, Dennis, my son's generation, and anything else. I don't want to hide anything. He was, on drug, and when he was in producer in Hollywood, and that really another part of a story. So only thing I could rely on God through the prayer, get saved by God's grace. And anyway,
Yeah, that's exactly true. I mean, no matter how we put it, I think there's millions of, I mean, not maybe millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out there who suffer from addiction, and things like that too. So I like, and we'll get into that later, because there's so many things to cover in the book. I think you can't just do it at one of our episodes. We have to do multiple episodes, but it'll be kind of cool because I always find it fascinating because it's kind of related to media. It's related to K-drama, K-pop.
since I was young, I used to be instructors.
How do you know you were talented? People used to tell you that, or you?
No, I just got, I couldn't move. I mean, you can cut it this far.
I think
right?
so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But, when I was young, I was very active, and I just more like a hyper child. And, I will dance in front of everybody like break dancers. And nowadays it's called break dancers. I knew that is within me. So I was born, just people used to tell me I was born in as dancer. So that caught me in. I was working at the dance studio in Korea at the time. Then what happened is they was gonna take me Europe tours, and as a group of one of the dancer. Then soon I find out I got pregnant.
Was it the USO shows or military or is it
no
Korea?
something like that?
Yeah.
And then then I got pregnant by surprise, Zengli, and just I have to stop hold my career, but within me still I have urge of to become a dancer, so I continually learn how to dance at the time, but now it's just like K-pop, girls. So those days
Korea has grown so much,
those days were unacceptable.
Oh, really?
So,
Why is that unacceptable?
Because a woman's supposed to docile and groomed to be a good wife, and not quiet woman. That's what the woman society recognize. But girls like me, kind of rebelling. I'm the more like a little bit crazy girl.
Yeah, that's actually interesting because I think now it's generally accepted by Korean society, dancing and acting. But in those times, it was like the bottom of the barrel.
Because just when I first as a guy, when I got United States, and my husband got sick and PTSD.
PTSD.
So he has to leave me and to go to treatment. So there's no way I could find to provide a family. So what I know the best is show business. So I got audition and I got hired as a burlesque dancer in a small little theater. Then at the time, it's very classic. And we had not only me, and we had just like guys with the MC with the monkeys and the pigs, and also snake dancers, and all the kind of vaudeville kind type of variety show. So that led me to Hollywood by very famous agent Okhui Lee. That she booked me in famous place Pink Pussycat, which is a Sammy Davis often frequently visit. Then also Dean Martin, all those those celebrities visited that place. So from that, and the agent booked me to Hawaii. So since I got to Hawaii, this is paradise. Who wanna, stay any place else but Hawaii? So I made my home in Hawaii. That, then I opened my own hostess bar. I guess people there, a lot of people there, they don't understand the hostess bar. But this is explain everything from my book. Those days, how hostess bar, how it works, and how, I almost had 50 girls, and by Kapilani and Kapilani and Kalakaua, the corner across the Cocos at the time. So was in things at the time. It's a lot of politicians, famous actors, actresses, and we had patrons, all kind of way of life, like like I said earlier, Hawaiian mafia. All those people visited our bar. But this is historic, and you should read a book. A very colorful life.
Yeah, good selling of the book. But I think what's important too is I wanted to kind of go backwards a little bit because people want to know what's in the book and what's very interesting. So we don't have to necessarily jump ahead to every aspect because I think people, since they don't know the story, they probably want to know about when you did go to Denver. There was actually a big part that you missed. Oh, the part my father, Kim Kwang-young.
His father was an actor. At the time when I met him, he was an actor. But a couple of years I left, he became a actor.
Yeah, just let me know what was like Korean filmmaking at that time.
But I don't know. I left. He became an actor.
Oh, they were famous. Like he was with the famous director.
Famous director, which his name is Yoo Hyun-mok. Is very known seasoned director. Martyrs.
Martyr, yeah.
Martyrs,
Martyr.
and it was a movie and called Martyrs. So I think one of Sunggyoja. So. I think his father, one of the producers, and also acting in the film. So he was at the time a banker. So it's evidently he's part of finance department. So also, long story short, and we go back to the book again. And there is a time I was very, very devastating. My son fell into the drug when he was working in Hollywood as a producer. Then, I went to church occasionally, but I wasn't really, really involved with what is prayer, is Bible verses, everything else. But, what got me, and when he was hit the rock bottom, that really came to God and, forgiving us our sin and forgiving us my past. And I need only help, by your power of prayer. So this got me from my mother was a Christian, always try to teach us morals and how to be, obey, and we put anything else God in first. So my mother wasn't being ideal mother, but still she can become a Christian. So she kind of repented and came to in my life. And most of the time she wasn't around when I was young, but, finally she came to my life when I had first the son. So she helped me through, and, she was a big inspiration for me.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit further, back to after. Actually, so you went to, after Kim Kwang-yeon, then you met Gordon, and then you had a child named Maryland, right?
Yeah, my daughter, from my, husband, Gordon, the American, and I had a daughter and another, I had a son, Patrick. They're well-to-do. She's a makeup artist in Hollywood, and my son is a successful businessman right now. They're doing very well, but, out of all the my oldest son is always problem child, but
Yeah.
now he came to God, and I'm very close with him.
What I'm interested in, and I think Marilyn and Patrick are from Gordon,
Yes.
and then my father was Korean,
Yeah.
obviously. So when you were in Denver, what was it like having multi-ethnic children and a purebred child? And was there any like prejudices or anything like that, or any kind of thing? I don't remember that much as a child.
No, at the time, I guess pretty much Asian, and just wasn't that bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of Mexicans in your school, so it wasn't as bad. But
Well, that's good. I think people blow it up sometimes nowadays that everything is prejudice or whatever. But I think human beings are human beings. They accept you no matter, as long as you're nice to them and respectful. And most people would be want to work together.
yeah, sometimes just media blow out the whole things.
Yeah.
And
So I think the thing I wanted to ask you too is that at that time in Denver. Actually, at that time in Denver, what was very interesting, and you remember you told me the story a long time ago, is that's because we had, my stepfather Gordon didn't have a lot of income, and he suffered from PTSD. You had to find other sources of income. So tell us about that world that you went into.
oh yeah, I went to apply job first the Chinese restaurant, and I got fired first night, and I walked out the sobbing and went through somebody taxi drivers talked to me. Oh, you look beautiful. You should get different job. And I told my story and sobbing story, but he told me you should go this place, apply job. And then I said, oh, is there waitress job? She said, no, this is more like dancer. And they have a showcase going on. So he took me this place. It's what they call body shop. So when I went to there, it's just look like a theater. Then there's many different, ethnic people, like a showgirls. One was a black and one the other Mexican. And, that's all mixed about 6, 7 dancers and include... we have a comedy act. So I met one of the MC. He took me to actually introduced to me Hollywood agent because he thought I can be a actress. But of course I had the language barrier. So no, I said no. I stick with the dancer rather than actress because. Every time I go audition, I get freaked out because they ever give me advice. Oh, you gotta learn how to speak better. So then I end up Hawaii. First audition I went is Hawaii 5-0.
Well, before you go, I found it very interesting at the body shop. There was this. We're talking about the prejudice a little bit, but there was this black girl that you got into a fight with, right?
Yeah, one was in dance. One of the dancer in Denver. One of the girl was a black dancer. She kind of gave me stink eyes, all that kind of stuff. I don't like that Asian, Japanese. So I got into a little argument. I'm not Japanese, I'm Korean. You don't know the difference? And I kind of a little bit bully, because then her husband was waiting outside.
One night.
One night. And he had a bag in his hand. And he said, oh, I want to see my wife. But they won't let him allow to come in because he was a color man. So I told him, okay, that girl I fought, that girl was, she wanted handed to the one bag. So I picked up the bag Then he kind of expressed himself when I asked, "Oh, how come you didn't want to come in?" He just go like this. I didn't understand that what it was, but that was because he's black. He couldn't come in. So I gave it that name, the showgirl's name, Cleopatra, as I handed to. Ever since we become very, very good friends. So I was kind of a little bit bullied too, because I look different, and so you gotta stand for yourself wherever I go, because any physical things I can challenging, because my brother used to be taught me how to taekwondo. So any place I go, I just give this, taekwondo fist. So people, stay away. So that was kind of very different.
Yeah, there's a whole section that we didn't really even talk about too. Your brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Then I came from large family, and I have I'm the seventh of 8 siblings, and I have a younger brother under me, and so I came from large family. So always been poor. Food is, that's why I'm very. I eat like truck driver, because I don't want my food taken away.
Yeah,
my
for
siblings.
your small frame, you sure to eat a lot.
Yeah, I eat a lot.
Yeah. So, your brothers and sisters eventually immigrated. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the time that you're. I know that's extensive.
But why talk about me all the time? Talk about yourself.
Oh no,
too.
no, this is about the book.
Oh,
I'm interviewing
book.
you.
Yeah.
So, I think it's very interesting, your life story. I think it's very interesting that we are, putting together, a project for this. So, anyways, just let me know what you thought of. Not let me know, but what do you think of the time that you spent in burlesque, and how it affected your family and maybe even your husband?
Yeah, it wasn't that easy, because those days, woman's supposed to be docile, and just walk behind a couple of steps, husband back, and all those traditional. I'm the one, break all that, traditional image of a Korean woman. So I was most likely pioneer of a K-pop.
No, don't say that.
Oh no, okay. And then
we gotta change that. That's you can't.
Yeah. So
okay.
Anyway, I'm not sure. I always.
But burlesque was different then. I mean, it wasn't like striptease, right? It was more classy, right?
Yeah, those days.
What was it more?
It's not complete. Whatever their expectations wasn't that. More like art form. That as a training as a dancer, I put a pretty good show. So
that's
then
good.
after, I think around the 70s, early 70s, they changed format, club, because I had always a 6 pieces band behind. Then also we work as a professional
you were
agent.
in the union too, right?
Yeah, belong to AFTRA union. Then we have a manager, we have an agent. So we were shooting all the different theaters and also clubs, and that's what I ended up through that contract, and I end up to Hawaii.
No, but you eventually went to Hollywood for a little while too.
Yeah,
you met some
Hollywood,
very interesting
and
characters along the way.
Yeah, I met the many characters in Hollywood, and I knew that all the how actors live at the time, and how hard it is breaking in that show business, and it is I learned from the early. Then my son get into acting, and also getting to that kind of world is a tremendous.
Sometimes I always ask myself, was it influenced by you or my father, especially, who was an actor, that I got into the acting field? I think maybe partly, but I think mostly it was just because I like the I like
No,
the.
no. Also, your grandma,
Uh-huh.
like my mother, Pong, always say, you leading kids to wrong path because you should be a bankers or you should be a banker or you should be a accountant or you should be a working management in the store. But I always against that her wishes to say, no, 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 we are creative people. And, just I really encourage him to become part of movie industry.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah, and which is a very hard industry
Yeah.
because if you really think about it, even though we see the glamour of TV and movies, very few people ever really make a good living off of it. Most people who are in SAG-AFTRA or unions, they did a survey one time and they found out that 95% of the actors really don't make money.
Yeah.
Only like 5% are as they call working actors. And I found that out firsthand when I went to Los Angeles and lived up there for several years to try my hand at acting, and then eventually got into production and producing. But we couldn't really do anything else. I mean, we had great ideas. We could have maybe opened up a kalbi, restaurant in LA, but we chose our field. So, anyways, getting back to the book and getting back to your story, after the burlesque days, obviously you made it to Hollywood. You did vaudeville things. You did all kinds of different things. You had an agent. That eventually brought you to Hawaii, correct? And can you tell us a little bit about your first experience in Hawaii?
No, when I came to Hawaii, first I noticed the weather is beautiful. When I get off the airport, and I could smell that pikaki. So nowadays you couldn't hardly smell. Then I like this. Hawaii is. You just like a feeling is. You feel like, oh, this is a paradise. I can make my life in Hawaii. Then I work at the last show I put out in. I don't know. You guys don't remember that Haba Club before they closed down, and I was working as a feature showgirl there. We have 6 bands and all the comedian and with all the different acts. And that was the last time I closed my curtain behind the show business. So I went to the different type of bar, a nightclub like a bar business at the Kapilani and Kalakaua, the corner right across convention center. Now name was Rakcha, right? That was I took over from Mario Spaghetti House. Then I turned into hostess bar. So that was
Well,
biggest
many of us
things.
out there need to know what exactly is a hostess bar.
Hostess bar, there's 2 type of waitresses. One is serve customers, but the other one is we can allow to sit with the patrons. But actually that's illegal. But this is all traditional, came from all traditional Japanese, like similar like geisha. So legal commissioner look other way around, other way. So that's the difference. But there's still, I'm not sure it exists or not right
The
now.
Korean bar?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that still exists to
Yeah,
this
but
day.
those days are very
Well,
different.
the money started rolling in. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
remember.
just I couldn't keep cash register ring just like
Yeah, it was
crazy
very
and
popular.
very popular. As I say earlier, all kind lives. People walked in.
There wasn't there like 3 bars that were very popular. Yours was Domiko's and was the other
Actually, it's a
Green Castle or
Korea.
something.
No,
or?
no, no, no. That wasn't. They came very late. The first one is the very famous Korea House at the Kapilani.
Yeah, I think I heard about that
Then
before. Yeah.
Arirang. Then my time is Domiko's Lounge. DOMIKO, Domiko's Lounge. That was a very, place to hang around as a special local people. Actually, Korean bar is traditional from all sugarcane days. Those old people, Japanese farmers, they have a place to go. So they started off from Japanese bar after World War II. Then they can wave the Korean bar. Now I'm not sure right now Vietnamese bar. Every war happens, then it seems like this type of bar business is changes.
Well, I mean, I know that the girls from all over the world came, local girls and girls especially from Korea, came to work there. But how did they make money?
Oh, they buy the nekohana. It's just used to be.
What's a nekohana?
Nekohana is at the 70s. Nekohana is one for me. Drink one for me. Actually, that had most time they put the water a little bit color water.
So in other words, to clarify, you would nekohana is a drink that is bought for the girl, for the woman.
Then they usually, at the time, I told you minimum wage $1.10. Nekohana was $1. That's pretty good money. So
in those days,
40 cents go to the girl, then 60 cents stay within house. That's how we split the commission. Then also there is a champagne, of course. That's $20, a big box at the time. So customers buy for girls, whoever assigned to sitting down, and they usually go to from nekohana to champagne. So all the explanation inside in the book, so you know what is this trend has been changed.
Yeah, so basically you're saying nekohana is a way that they make a little money just sitting next to the customer, almost like a geisha.
Almost like that.
Yeah.
Just borrow from geisha type of business.
I heard later on there was some extracurricular activity, like funny things happening.
That's come much later. At the time, it just,
there was respectfulness between customer and girl, right?
Then also we have, I got to talk to you about this. We have a lot of food. It's just what they call poo-poo. So I thought first time poo-poo is a little, spoiled diaper from kids, but that was very funny at the first. But lay out a lot of, food, Korean and continental food and American food and even pizzas. We had, enormously, it put out this generous with all the poo-poo's food. So anyway, that's known as my bar. I had the greatest poo-poo in town.
Yeah, I remember. I think now a lot of the bars that are very well known. I don't know if Side Street's still here. There's a lot of bars that still, they're not Korean bars. They're basically just regular bars that are family restaurants almost. But poo-poos and food is a big part of the drinking
big part
process,
of
right?
Drink and also
that's from Korea.
Yeah, no, that's from Japan too. So anyway, all the poo-poos like the kitchen mama. Next week we're gonna have a lady who was working in the kitchen. She put out plenty like continental local style food like steamed fish and also pokies and all of those things and it's just delicious food. The layouts break the table. So we're not having only male customer. We have a lot of company parties, and also bachelor parties. Also, we have many other business people. Have business parties. So we start, just build a little room. Each room had a reservation for the golf team and also or other activity. People used to be, just reserve that room and, just have a good time. That's all it was. We entertain. Then later on, I'm the first one brought the karaoke machine to Hawaii. So I built each room because I went to Japan as a dancer. I found out. They have a karaoke. So I brought them in. Now after that, everybody copycat each other, copycat. So it's become normal in the bar to having karaoke. But that was great things. And also, I was always thinking about new adventure, like also, how I'm gonna improve my business. Then I talked to Tom. What is his name?
Tom Kaufman?
No, not Tom Kaufman. What is his name?
Which
Tom
one?
Moffat.
Tom Moffat, the famous Tom Moffat.
That famous Tom Moffat. I talked to him, bring the satellite in my bar.
Oh, satellite TV.
Yeah,
that's
TV,
right.
but there was a huge.
Yeah, that was a big truck, right?
Trucks came outside. Then all the news station came.
Yeah, that's
You're
what they
not
had
supposed
Elvis
to
do, too.
use that satellite, but you know what the heck? And I use air, but nobody can stop. So I'm the first one brought I'm not bragging, but always thinking about new adventure.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You're a pioneer in many areas because of the bar.
Yeah.
And how to entertain customers. Many of the customers were into sports, and obviously they wanted to watch games and enjoy a drink, and but not only
Then
men
also,
but women too,
I went
right?
to Vegas and I found a lot of buffalo wing
Oh,
from Tropicana, which is a couple of days ago. Tropicana is they torn down.
oh yeah.
But I found out they use buffalo wing. So I brought the bag. I make more spicy. I serve a buffalo wing and with 99 cents a beer. There was advertising on the news. And everybody said, "What is a buffalo wing?"
Yeah.
Even the other bar owner, my competition called. Just I also advanced the new idea. But,
Yeah.
To have 3 children, and I gotta focus on children's
That's good.
welfare too.
Yeah. So I the bar not only had men come in, there was women.
A lot of women after
Lot of-
golfing and
couple-
then company
wives,
parties,
company
wives.
parties.
Of course, they all
Yeah,
all
so
can
people think
walk
that
their
Korean
life.
bars was like more like what it is now, but it's really different back then because it was basically the place to go.
Yeah.
Right? It was the place to go, like
Because
how
most
people
of the
go
local
to.
people, they don't want to go to Waikiki because more like tourist area. So, someplace to go at night. Family. A lot of, wives come. So also a lot of, just mainly, just like sometimes college students come for their parties and graduation, or sometimes company parties. Those place to because we have great food,
Yeah,
drink.
that's
So
true.
what else you can?
Yeah,
then-
that's
then-
interesting. That's where a
yeah.
lot of the food came from. Pupu's, like like
Yeah.
we mentioned earlier. So that's very interesting. I think we could go pretty much on and on with this. I think now that we kind of understand the story of Korean bars and things like that, we just kind of need to, get to the next part of the book, which is basically about my story, what happened to me.
Your story is a whole different,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
then
like
maybe
a-
we'll save that for the next episode.
Yeah, it's just like how he got saved by God's grace
From
through the
addictions and,
mother's
yeah,
prayer.
yeah,
So addiction.
That's one of the main reasons the book was written.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure a lot of young generations out there, then, sometimes life is not, all glory and rosy, and, you have a certain obligation to your family or this, society, and, sometimes it is easy to get, media is a big problem
Yeah,
too. We
media
use a
is-
lot of media, but, a lot of wrong information and is influenced by,
Yeah.
not spiritually
yeah.
not too good, and we really need different direction to guide the children. It's not only fame and money is a way to go. There is a spiritually family, core of family is important, and also, believe in God, believe something higher than you. That's the really message I want to give to the young generation.
So, Mom, I know that you have a lot of stories within the book. Obviously, the book is a huge chapter, so a huge amount of stories within your book that talks about different times in your life and different people that you have met, as well as wonderful characters that have been a big influence in your life, positive and negative, obviously. So one of the things I think that the people out there audiences would be very interested in would be the fact that what is a Korean bar? What is a hostess bar? I know that it was very popular in the 1970s and early 80s. This type of Korean bar was prevalent in Hawaii, and yours was one of the top 3 in the islands, from what I understand, and money was flowing in. Could you tell us a little bit about the history and how that came about?
So actually, a hostess bar in Hawaii were blend of Eastern and Western culture. Unlike the average American waitress, a hostess was allowed to sit with the patrons and entertain them. Of course, the Honolulu Legal Commissions would approve a hostess bar license, which is regulated hostess not to drink on their duties. But truth is, most of this commissioner look the other way. So since most hostess were patron of Asian descendant, they were familiar with the geisha or kisen in Asia. So that traditional got us handed down to, this generation. So their great-grandparents and work on the plantation in early 1900, and they brought over the tradition to bring comfort on lonely man who goes in the bar and just keep company, and also eat a lot of good food from that provided by kitchen mama. So anyway, this is way back to 1900, traditional in Hawaii.
Oh, that's good. That's interesting. I know that you're reading a little bit about the history, because most people who open bars don't necessarily know about the history of that type of world, that situation. I know that it was adapted from the geisha tradition, and it was adapted from Korean tradition. So there's a lot of, the way that women and men think of, sexuality and companionship is different in Asia than America.
Now, also you got to remember, and first wave is actually Japanese bar, not a Korean bar. Started with the Japanese, and after World War II, and immigrants came to, Hawaii, and they were most likely first wave. And the second wave is, of course, after Korean War, which is a Korean, military GI bride like me, came to the States. They're looking for opportunity to open business, which is very lucrative at the time. Then also, third wave, of course, after Vietnam War, and just a war bred from Vietnam, and they the one. Just right now, I guess modern days, majority owned by the Vietnamese women.
Yeah. So can you tell us how did you open the bar, and what was the down payment, and did you have partners?
Oh, first my bar is I had a partner. Her name is June, and I was working Arirang and the partnership started. We took over Mario Spaghetti House, located at across Coco, old Coco coffee shop. Capilani and also Kalakaua Corner, right now known as a convention center across. It's early 70. When we took over, that was very, very popular and was called the hot spot.
Yeah.
And then also a lot of politicians, and we have a customer like
Yeah, well, what was what kind of? So you had the bartenders, they had you, the owner, and who are these girls that came from where? And
girl is the majority is Asian girl, of course. At the time, a Korean girl is.
And how many did you have usually?
I usually have every night 40 to 50 girls, and the majority is Korean and Japanese, and also there's local girls and a few Vietnamese at the time.
Were they like prostitutes, or were they workers,
no,
or were
not
they
like that. It's just like working as a waitress and hostess, and of course be able to sit down and they offer the drink like nekohana. They goes to when minimum wage was $1.10 and dollar for drink. Most likely it's not liquor, it's
$1.
Yeah, 40 cents
crazy.
to go to and 60 cents.
You can't even buy a candy bar nowadays with that kind of money. Not even a candy bar. Candy bar is like $3. Yeah. So these girls would come in. They'd be all dressed up nicely.
Oh, of course.
They would be serving the customers, and what would they serve them? Like drinks or food or?
They have customer usually drink a Primo beer at the time, and they have a bucket and put on the ice for the beer.
Watered down beer.
Yeah. Then also at the time, and then also Nekana is just color water.
Yeah.
Just girls won't be able to,
Why did the guys like coming to the bar? How did they hear about it?
No, Hawaii is most attraction is tourism and Waikiki. So they locally, a lot of local people, they don't want to go there. So after their work or construction or whatever business they were into, then also sometimes golf teams and other recreation like a bowling, the teams and all the people just as after pauhana, what they call pauhana. They go to the bar and after, whatever they found, having fun and talk story. So meantime, there are a lot of women customer too.
Yeah, oh really?
Yeah.
What kind of women would come there?
Just day workers.
Well, office workers.
Office worker and at the time a Hawaiian telephone company.
Uh-huh.
Then also many other, office or state workers. They all came with their colleague. So fun place.
Yeah, so that basically what they did was they came there as a group, as kind of like office workers, people that were part of corporate, Hawaii, that would come and they would drink and have fun. And I remember they sang karaoke too, because I remember as a small kid, I used to attend there, but I always look forward to the food. The food was always so good. And I remember that, and I think I tried the second time. I tried the first time beer, I believe, when I was a young kid. First time I tried it when I was in Denver, but that was, fed that when I was 6 years old. I was kind of drunk. Anyways, go ahead.
So anyway, it's very nostalgic. The bygone era is 70s. So we have all kind of people walked in through the door from syndicate, Hawaiian mafia, and also a lot of politicians.
But
and
what
has,
attracted these syndicate people to the bar? Was it because you were making a lot of money, or was it because they
no,
wanted to party? Or
there's a few extortions. Just reading this book, and there's some extortion was.
so they were basically trying to, were they trying to extort you?
Yeah, that's true. They extort the money, but they're everything inside the book.
Oh, so they tried to say, oh, you were making like 1,000, 10,000 a night, and they would want $1,000.
Sometimes you're like a shady guy sitting in the corner of a booth, and who's the owner, and then soon I notice, at the time manager is my sister, and that guy want to see you. I say, then I know, lady, something is not right. So he said, you know where you live and where, well, how many family you have, children you have, and start, giving me all chilling, warning. And so then at the time I knew a lot of politicians. Also, I knew labor union guys. They have all the strong
Who eventually
ones.
became your boyfriend.
No, that time is not really boyfriend. I've been seeing the Harold Lewis, a union boss. So he has all kind connection with the underground people. So not underground, underworld people. So so you can cut that area. It's underworld people. So I can name it, couple, and Larry Mihao and, all those people. So they call the Harold Lewis as an old man. So we cover, what's covered well.
Yeah. So in other words, so they just became part of the scene because of, I remember you every night when you used to come home like 3 a.m. after your bar was over. I remember hearing this machine into your room, and I remember that you were counting the cash and these checks on your old-fashioned calculator. In those days, it was like some sort of like a machine, like an old typewriter, in which you actually calculated. I saw piles and piles of money. At that time, of course, I was a young kid. I didn't really know the value of money, but I could see why the syndicate would want part of the action, as they say, right?
Yeah. Then also,
Didn't they break into the safe one time? You said they would.
I have a couple, those incidents, but, those always, you gotta expecting those criminal two elements. So
Yeah.
at the time, it just started. I guess
Everybody was making money at that time, right? The girls,
construction industry.
yeah, construction was booming. There was just everything was being built at the time. Waikiki was, being built all over, and people had money in their pockets, and they had money to spend.
Yeah.
And I remember the girls used to wear like designer clothes and have Mercedes Benz. It was crazy time, yeah.
Yeah, they all have those luxuries at the time.
So let me ask you this question: how much did you make at the height of your? Okay, let's just say this: how much did a girl make at the height of her when she was, at the top of her game?
No, at the time, when the minimum wage is $1.10, and girl makes an average $300 a day, I'm not sure they report taxes, and some girls make $1,000 a night. So.
And that time was big money, obviously.
Oh, that of course big money, and average a condominium you can buy under $100,000, like $50,000.
So if you work 100 nights for some of these girls, they could just buy a condominium.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Just work 3 months and you buy a condominium. Right now, if you buy a condominium, you have to work 3 lifetimes to get a condominium with the prices. So that asks another question. I mean, as the owner of the bar, did you make a lot of money at the time?
Yeah, I made a lot of money. That's why I be able to bring all the families from Korea. and I sponsor them, and also
The kids went to private school.
Then also my kids could go to private school and good college. So that was, I can afford it.
So just give us a price. What was the amount of money that you made at the time? Because we don't have those kind of money anymore. But what is it?
No, that's hard to tell. The value of the money is different.
Oh,
now,
I see. I
mean, anyway, I had the Crown Royal bag and the full. I stuffed in a couple of bags and
Crown Royal bag. Yeah,
yes,
I remember
I
that.
stuffed it and I go into night bank and deposit.
Oh.
Either my partner take with the money and try to avoid that.
Oh, I see. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, say I'm the customer. I come into the bar. I see. Just give me a scenario of what happens to a customer when they sit down, when they come inside the bar. First thing they come inside, what happens?
No, I sort of very. I'm kind of pretty good at which customer like which type of girl. So soon I spot in front of the door the customer walked in, I know exactly that type of girl. So I try, match with that girl. So 99% is going right direction. What like a customer come. Some customer comes and they like, quiet, nice, quiet girl. And some customer like more like a model type and nice pair of legs. And so I can tell, like casting agent. So most of is successful. But, the thing is different. They kind of take time, the relationship. So I told the girl, don't just, go out quickly. Just play game. Just like game. So, just like a cooking, it takes time to prepare. So,
did some of these girls end up marrying their customers?
I'm telling you about 2/3 of girls married and end up married. Like a contractor and some guys broke up marriage.
So it's good for them.
About actually a lot of broken marriages.
Oh.
Hostess girl. We didn't have that good reputation.
Yeah, I know because I mean at that time I think it was a little bit more innocent and there wasn't as much drugs on the scene.
No,
right?
no, that's just the drug came right around the late 70s. Then of course early 70s I saw little here there and there was a kind of LSD, then cocaine. All those things. It's a little bit of marijuana.
So that was a part of the Korean bar scene in the 1970s.
70s, but very rare.
After the disco era, right?
Yeah, after disco, late 70s. Then 80 gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
When I had the last bar, actually I closed up 1983. And a lot of girls get into hook in the drug and cocaine is expensive at the time. Then I guess what was that, crack
crack it came involved.
Yeah, those things,
methamphetamine,
because
all that kind of stuff
sometimes dark private room, then they got like a cylinder, they smoke all those things.
So that also, well, then we painting this lifestyle that's infiltrating the world, where it was once very similar to geisha world, where it was more traditional. It was there was a politeness to the combination of male and female and how they came together, and to the relationship with bar customers to the bar hostess was always almost a little bit like a business relationship, because that's what happened, I think, in Japan. Is many times I think men and women would be married, they would have a family, but they would go to the bar, sit with a geisha.
Wives are very acceptable in Japan. But also, you gotta remember at the time, Hawaii is just like a playground for, Yakuza too. So a lot of this is, like in the book is saying about murder, suicide.
Yeah, that's what you knew some of these people that were.
But amazing that Yakuza, right, came with tons of money under the belt.
Yakuza.
Wrap around those.
They'd come to the bar, right?
They come to the bar and they're just having party.
So they would have like these belt, what do you call it? Money belts. They would have like hundreds of dollars on there.
Yeah, with them.
And literally thousands.
Mm-hmm. They all related, kind of a drug and.
When you told me one time there was this one character, well, you have to read the book in order to find out who it is. He would have like a rhinestone cowboy belt buckle or something with all the money inside.
Well, I don't want to mention them. He got kicked out from country, but he has a diamond buckles and is from Indonesia. So he just oh my gosh, he's the biggest gambler in Las Vegas. Actually, he has his own jet.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to take a couple girls with him, and just like buy champagne, like a $30,000, $40,000 worth it. And I mean, those bygone era is
but
gone.
Tell me about what was the worst thing that happened in terms of a tragedy that you told me about a long time ago with one of the girls and.
Yeah, they got murder, murder, but pretend suicide. But
yeah, because they don't know what happened exactly.
No, they
right?
do know, but all related.
Can you tell us what it was in a building, right?
Yeah, it's Japanese Yakuza, murder, suicide, and they assumed suicide, but I don't think so. There was everything towards to somebody, murdered.
Was this Yakuza gentleman dating one of your girls or something?
Yeah, he was dating one of the hostesses, and in fact, that happened in my bar. There was LA 70s. There was on the newspaper all over the place. So, I know exactly what happened, but I cannot tell because you gotta read this book, and that's our story inside.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all public knowledge because it was in newspapers, but we just don't want to perpetuate names out there right now on this podcast. But I know that the story was something like this, from what you told me a long time ago, is that they found the man and the woman dead with gunshot wounds.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was murder suicide because he had the gun in his hand, right? Mm-hmm. Correct. And it was in a high-rise apartment.
But the next day, detective came. Then he said the way to hold the gun, he held the gun. That was a murder suicide because they pretend, because they, the whole.
Yeah, I mean, they set it up as somebody set it up.
Yeah. But funny thing is that they locked the door from inside.
Oh.
It's a high-rise building.
Mm-hmm.
How they got into the building, that's a mystery.
Mm. Yeah, maybe it was through the balcony or something.
No,
right?
They didn't have that. Balconies are far apart.
Oh.
This is a luxury condominium.
Yeah. So the mystery, you say, was because of the way that the gun was in his hand. It seemed like it wasn't really a murder-suicide, but it was shown as a murder-suicide, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But did you really like that girl? Was she somebody that was good?
No, she was a very quiet and good-looking girl. And of course, she speaks both language and Japanese. No, also not. I'm sorry. She speaks Japanese well, and that guy has a Yakuza was her sugar daddy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Boyfriend kind of.
Boyfriend kind of.
Yeah, well, that's a tragedy, and then there was other tragedies that happened too. Can you tell us a little bit about like some of the cane people buried into the cane fields in Hawaii? That's crazy stories.
Thing is a crazy story. Like a customer, just a couple of nights ago, he was drinking. We had a party together, and next few days, we noticed he was buried in the sugar cane, and it's a kind of you will like watching movie. And I witnessed exactly. Guy came in and he took him out in the car with a few guys, that disappeared. And then I noticed he had an affair with one of the hostess. So at that night, just a few nights after, I saw, I think that night he dragged him out from the bar. Then next day, I noticed body was missing. Then they found the body in the sugarcane. But I know exactly who did all that, but I cannot be witness right now.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So, I think to clarify, I think what you said is that you saw there was one gentleman that used to be a bar patron that was attracted to one of the girls or something, but that girl also had a boyfriend who was very jealous, and then that bar patron ended up missing, and they found him in the cane fields dead, buried, right? And then cane field, it was pineapple fields, right? I'm not sure.
Not cane field with pineapple. And also, you gotta remember.
It's kind of like how Las Vegas, many years ago, they used to find bodies in the Las Vegas deserts.
Then also, you gotta remember these girls, hostesses, are just like a regular woman. Like they have family, like me. I have a children's, and they have family, and they have parents, and immigrant family, and regular people. But the way out, they had to do this kind of job, and it brings a lot of money, and be able to bring all the rest of family from Korea. So my generation actually brought all the majority people here, but otherwise, not like now Korea is an affluent country, be able to send the kids to abroad, to different countries, and be able to afford it there. But those days not.
Yeah.
So most
the kids don't realize nowadays how much they especially that's what in Korea too. The Gangnam, that's that music video Gangnam Style is based upon the hard work of their grandparents or great grandparents, and it had a ripple effect where the kids now are affluent, but yet they seem to have forgotten about the hard backbreaking work that their forefathers, their ancestors did, and that's the whole reason for the song Gangnam Style.
Yes. So main things, because of like me, I really believe in education. So I make money, and I made a lot of money, and then try to help the kids for the better life. And education is a key, But you don't screw it up anyway.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think what's good is to talk about. As we were talking about the syndicate and the bar days, you knew a lot of not only that, movie stars too, right? There was movie stars that came by.
Movie stars, and after Hawaii Five-O, old crews used to come down to bar, and then also a lot of celebrities, and also a lot of politicians.
If you folks want to learn more, just pick up a copy of this book. This book is my mom's life story. It's one of the many, many stories in there about a time when she owned a hostess bar, which is a nightclub, but with the twist where there's a lot of beautiful women there. But anyways, this story is one of many, and about how Hawaii was before. And how the mainland even was before. So she lived in Hollywood, she lived in Hawaii, she lived in Denver, she lived in Korea. So it's a very epic tale. And the reason why we're pitching the book is obviously we'd love to sell it because we want to be able to support this channel. This is a new channel, podcast channel that we decided to do because we're doing a lot of projects that deal with entertainment industry, and even in the hostess bar, that's a form of entertainment. But there's a dark side to it, but there is hope. And I believe there's hope in Jesus and hope in God that, that we can all come out of it. And so that's what the book is really about, is about hope. So if you could support us out there, just, pick up a copy. The book is called A Girl from Busan. And we'd love for you to be able to read about it. And, with a mere $25 for the book, write a great review for it too, so that it can get out there, because it's really about a mother's prayer to her family, and especially me, who kind of really succumbed to that dark side for many, many years. And only through her prayers that I was able to get out of it. So let's conclude this by just one more thing is we're going to talk more about that world, but we'd like to know exactly what made you decide to get out of the bar business at that time?
Oh, of course, time changes, and now, when the Vietnamese bars came along, and Korean is they got older, they retire. Then age got to the lot, then trends changed, and time changes. So, well, I think I got a right time, early 80s.
Well, then you told me because the drugs started to get heavier.
It's heavier.
And then a lot of the girls started going more into the prostitution side, right? No, not necessarily.
I think I'm not sure. I cannot tell for for the new bar, but what are trends? Still, people go to the bar for drink, meet the friends, and
that's true.
Also eat pupus. A lot of single.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Here, so it's not all depending on type of bar.
So, anyways, so you just decided to get out of it because I think there was also moral issues too that you wanted to kind of.
No, also as you got to the lot, and then time to retire and going different business, and I get into more interested of after you fall down. I mean, you fell into the drug. When I connect the more spiritual.
Yeah, and then also more production. We did a lot more production.
Yeah, also we do. We are good storyteller. Actually, we are doing some few. I made a few documentary past. With the Haiti documentary and Philippine documentary. We did all the documentaries, and now interested to go into I'm writing script now with my son, so develop from content from these books.
Yeah, wonderful story. I think people, you can follow us on the journey as we develop the movie project for the book and other projects, because I've personally done films in Hollywood and here, and so it's a process, but we love to have you on this journey with us because it is a journey that we really want to use entertainment, filmmaking to benefit mankind, and to have it become something where there is a life-changing source, which is God. And it's also really about the love of family. A lot of times why my mother did what she did, and if when people read the book, they realize the sacrifice. Women out there who give them themselves to their families don't necessarily like all the occupations that they do, but somehow, some way, through that process, it's really about self-sacrifice and about really doing the things that at that time in that era is available to them. Because now there's a lot of opportunities for Asian Americans or Asians in general to be in the entertainment industry. But before, 20 years ago, if you see an Asian person in the screen, it'd be like, oh, there's an Asian person, and it'll be unique. It'll be like, wow, I've never seen them playing in a leading role like that. Or it'll be like, well, they're like caricatures of what an Asian person, stereotypical Asian person should be. So that's where I think that times have changed. And I believe that my mom was kind of the forefront of that change, even though at the time she didn't know it. And now the benefits of K-drama, the benefits of all these movies like Beef, Minari, all the Academy Award winning films, Parasite, I never personally thought that Asians would be so prominent in the media in the last 10 years, so I think it has a lot to do with the sacrifices of our older generation. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you want to say bye to everybody out there?
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening and watching this program. I want you guys all participate in our next story.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want, like I said, if you want to really be a part of our adventures, please help us, and purchase the book. And it definitely will go to a good cause.
also
You know,
this,
we have cornerstone charities
yeah,
that you
this
can
is
donate to if you want to.
donated to whatever, for the Maui fire.
Yeah,
You
part
know, for
portion of
the
that will go to Maui
church.
Fire. Yes, for
The
sure.
church burned
Support the
down.
older
Support the
churches
older
that burned
church.
down. Yeah.
So also, good cause.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. So have a great evening or day or whatever, wherever you are in the world, and we just love to join us for the next podcast. We're going to have a very special guest. Actually, is one of my mom's friends, Cynthia, who actually worked with her in the bar, but she is an old timer from Hawaii, and she'll tell you some awesome stories, even a story about how she actually met a young Elvis one time at the beach. So anyway, stay tuned and join us for the next podcast under Dennis James Lee podcast. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Aloha.